Okay, this PowerPoint presentation is mainly going to be focused on early learning for students with disabilities, those early intervention programs, and then the individualized family service plan and family survey. So it's going to include a lot of great information and resources for you. New techniques and new medical advancements are continuously being made in order to identify children with disabilities at a much earlier age than previously. A lot of disabilities can now be identified within the first few years of life, and those first few years of life are very critical in your child's development, so it is important that you apply and have them tested as soon as possible so they can get the appropriate services that they need to benefit them and their future education. Part C of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act had two amendments, one in 1997 and then 2004, and these both focus on infants and toddlers with disabilities. Okay, moving on to early intervention programs. Each state has their own program for this, but they are all required to have certain components. These components include a comprehensive child find system, and this includes the system that makes referrals. So this allows people to refer children to these programs. An individualized family service plan, and that includes the service coordination, a comprehensive multidisciplinary evaluation of that infant or toddler with their disability, a family-directed identification of the needs of each family with an at-risk infant or toddler to assist the child's development, and then a public awareness program to focus on the early identification of infants and toddlers. So they're placing emphasis on hospitals and physicians need to provide this information to parents at a very early age so that they know they're there and available. And then lastly, the comprehensive system of personnel development. So this includes having qualified personnel, such as, your speech language pathologist, occupational therapists, psychologists, social workers, family therapists, pediatricians, all of those people are included. So this will allow your child to get the proper and needed assistance that they can have from all the supported staff. And these services are provided at no cost to the families, except where federal or state law does provide a system that families do need to pay. Okay, identification. When you're referring to the term infant or toddler with a disability, this is referring to any child that is under the age of 3 that qualifies for these intervention services, because without those services, the child will be at risk for developmental delays. And the delays can be in the areas of cognitive, physical, communicative, social or emotional, adaptive, and then any child with diagnosed physical or mental condition that could result in a developmental delay. Okay, moving on to the Individualized Family Service Plan and Family Survey. We're going to refer to this as the IFSP. It was designed to focus on programs for infants and young children. The IDEA amendments of 1997 and then 2004 categorized preschoolers under the school system. So that means that they don't differentiate a preschool program from elementary or secondary school programs. So it includes the IEP on all of those. However, if the family and that child would benefit from the services that come along with an IFSP, they are allowed to continue on the IFSP rather than switching over to the IEP. There are many services that come along with that IFSP that are very good for especially young children and infants. The IFSP is designed to be flexible and meet the family's specific needs. It is evaluated once every year, and it can be evaluated and reviewed every 6 months or sooner if that family chooses to do so. Alright, so this is going to be the elements that are included in that IFSP. So each state has their own, but it must include the following. So, starting off, the statement of the infant's or toddler's present level of attainment. And this will include the areas of physical, sensory, cognitive, communication, social, emotional, and then adaptive development. It basically is going to require a statement that is based on the criteria that is acceptable to both the parents and the care provider. The statement of the family's resources, priorities, and concerns. So this includes the development of the child with special needs and are related to the broader family issues. So you're making sure that you're concerned, you're reaching out and assisting the concerns of that family and the child. Then moving on, a statement of the major outcomes expected for the child and family. So this is going to include how and when progress will be made and how and when the progress will be evaluated, when updates will be made, and how it's going to be altered throughout the process of the child's development. Then a statement of the specific supports and services that are necessary. So basically it's going to want to include the needs of the child and then the family. So you're wanting to make sure that you're always meeting those needs. Then a statement describing the environment in which the services will be provided in the location. So when and where are these services going to take place? Then you're going to want to have the dates when the services are going to start and then the expected end date so that parents and families can kind of have an idea of how long these services are going to be provided for their children. Then they want to have the name of the service coordinator. Who can they reach out to get information from? Who's in charge, kind of thing. Then last, the steps that are taken to support the child's transition from home, community, or preschool, if that is appropriate to share on there.